Hey everybody, this is Chris with Martin and Associates. We're just waiting for a few more people to join the meeting, and then we'll begin very shortly. Thank you.
Hey everyone, my name's Scott Letty with Creatio. If you guys want to, feel free to turn on your cameras so we can kind of get, I know it's not quite the lunch and learn environment that we're all used to, but I feel like sometimes having the cameras on kind of helps us feel a little more like a community feel. And again, if you know, we could just maybe, you know, even if you want to turn your microphones on, just go around and do some quick introductions, where you're calling in from, your company. That would be awesome. So I don't know the best way to do this so we don't get everyone talking at once, but if we could kind of just chime in if you feel so inclined to kind of introduce yourself, that would be awesome.
Yeah, absolutely.
Not everyone at once. I guess that's not a problem.
I see somebody fired up the old video here.
Yeah, we got a couple videos. I got a thumbs up from Stan. Hey, Stan.
All right.
I think someone was talking muted, unless they weren't talking to us.
I'm Bill Cash with Consolidated Treatment Systems. I'm in the office, and we'll be here at least through 1 o'clock.
Awesome. Hey, Will. Nice to see you. Thanks for joining. So it looks like you got 19. It's pretty good head count. Few people still connecting, but maybe. What do you think, Chris? You want to get started?
Yeah, I think so. It's a good idea.
Okay, cool.
A great group here. So yeah, my name is Chris Isbell, working with Martin and Associates. You've already seen Scott Letty with Creatio, and want to thank all of you for joining us today for our kind of virtual e-lunch and learn. I know it'd be a lot more entertaining if we were meeting in person, but you know, stuff happens. So just a few housekeeping items. We will be recording the webinar. At the end of the webinar, there'll be a Q&A session. So please feel free to enter any questions you have into the chat window of our meeting. And we'll cover as many of those as we can at the end of the session. When you receive the recording after today's webinar, you'll get the whole recording except the Q&A session will be omitted from that for, you know, privacy reasons. But all the good content will be available for you to share with any coworkers or people that you might want to teach about Creatio and all the fun things it can do. So today we're gonna, you know, cover a little bit about what is Creatio for those of you that are not familiar with the product or have, you know, just heard the name. Scott Letty from Creatio will be doing that, and we're very happy to have him on board. And then for the rest of the session, you know, we'll be covering some examples of what, you know, our clients have been doing with the tool, just to, you know, give everyone here a little bit of a flavor of what can Creatio do and different ways clients are using it to, you know, assist their business. We have people using it, you know, for normal CRM sales type things, marketing, and then there's also, you know, a wonderful portal built in for the, you know, customer support features. There's lots of power and views and dashboards. And we'll, make a quick little process just to kind of show you the power of the process engine and what, different ways you can use that to, help the system work for you. So we're glad to have you all again. And I'm going to turn this over to Scott at Creatio, and he can teach everyone about Creatio and what's going on there, and then back to me for all the fun customer examples.
Thanks, Chris. Hey, everyone. I hope everyone's doing well. I'm just going to take a second and share my screen here. Okay. As Chris mentioned, my name's Scott Leddy. I'm an enterprise account executive at Creatio. I just want to take a second to thank everyone again for taking some time to come out here. I know it's not the normal lunch and learn. Hopefully, wherever you guys are, you have lunch. Normally we would provide lunch. I will say that if you do end up purchasing Creatio, I will personally buy you lunch, or at least make you a sandwich or something like that. So one of the things that we're going to talk a lot about throughout this lunch and learn is the concept of acceleration. So the world, as we know, it is accelerating. It did have a little bit of a standstill, but as we've all kind of seen, it's going right back from 0 to 60, pretty full force. And when we talk about acceleration with Creatio, really it goes hand in hand with the concept of digital transformation, taking manual processes, taking manual people-based processes and workflows, automating them, digitizing them, and really bringing a company to the modern technological dependent world. So Creatio is a tool that companies are using to accelerate their digital transformation processes, and we'll talk a little bit about how exactly they're doing that in just a moment. So it's found that 72% of the Fortune 500 companies feel that the single greatest challenge limiting their growth is technology. Now, as we mentioned, all companies require technology in order to stay competitive. So it's really a double-edged sword. Technology is helping them on one hand, but also the need to be technologically capable is limiting their growth as well. Reason being, as you see in this slide, what we found is that companies have a lack of IT resources, a lack of digital natives, a lack of technologically capable individuals in their organizations that are able to take this long pipeline of to-do and get them to the done stage, get them into action, and get them into production. So IT pipelines become really more of a point where there's a long list of things that a company needs in order to complete their digital transformation efforts, a very small amount of bandwidth from a people standpoint, human capital who are capable of putting these wants into production. And what you get is a overworked IT staff who are just simply not able to churn out finished products fast enough to keep up with the marketplace that a company needs from a digital transformation standpoint. McKinsey in 2018 put out a report that said that the success of digital transformation efforts is 2 times higher. So it's twice as successful when employees are empowered by self-serve technology. So all of these reports that we've seen really were instrumental into steering the path or the vision of how Creatio has built its product platform and how we've structured our company and our efforts. So as you see here on the right, these are photographs taken by an iPhone or an Android or mobile device outfitted with a camera. Used to be, back in the day, if you wanted to be a photographer, you needed to have specialized equipment, specialized skills and training, a dark room. There was a whole process in creating photography quality pictures. And now, as you see on the right, you can get those with a camera. With a camera phone that everyone has in their pocket these days, everyone can be a photographer. Take that concept and we apply that to application development. With the Creatio low-code, no-code platform, everyone can be a developer. So we talked about that that slide a couple of slides ago, where there's that long list of to-do, but only a few amount of people who are capable of turning those business needs into fully formed applications. With Creatio, applications can be built, the system can be configured, designed, workflows can be built, workflows can be automated without the need for anyone in the organization to actually have any type of programming knowledge or coding knowledge. So everyone can be a developer. And we do that through low-code, no-code technology. And that's exactly what it says. These applications are built and developed with either very, very minimal code or no code being written at all. So low code, as you guys may be aware, you're not aware, is a big trend kind of in the technology market, where empowering users who haven't been to a coding boot camp, who don't have an MS in computer science, who haven't spent years and years studying .NET, C#, Java, Python, what have you, enabling them to build their own apps and create custom workflows, custom applications, and automated workflows. So by 2024, low-code platform development will be responsible for more than 65% of application development activity. So there are more development activity in the low-code space than there will be with traditional language-based programming. And through 2021, market demand for app development will grow at least 5 times faster than IT capacity to deliver. Now that is coming up very, very shortly, that 2021 mark. And we're already starting to see some of that with our customers who simply can't keep up with demand internally in their companies for app development with their ability with a traditional IT programming-based approach to app development to deliver it. So again, within the next 5 years, the low-code market will grow 5x. So it's $4 billion now. It'll be about 21 billion within 5 years. So this is a huge, huge trend. And again, Creatio is one of the market leaders in the low-code space already. And again, as a company, we have CRM. We also have our low-code business process management platform. And while they are, there's a symbiotic relationship between them, the company is really putting a lot of effort into that low-code, no-code platform because we really see that huge, huge growth potential. Talk a little about some of our use cases, some companies that have used Creatio to accelerate their digital transformation, one of which is Visteon. It's a company, it's a very long company, as you can see, over 10,000 employees. If you guys haven't heard of it by brand name, if you have a automobile, you're probably using a Visteon product. So they create all of the electronics within a dashboard that you guys see in consumer vehicles. So your GPS system, how you get to your songs, your Bluetooth connectivity, those panels, everything from that to odometers, smart fuel gauges, things like that. So Visteon is one of the flagship Creatio customers. They had a lot of workflow inefficiencies. Again, they had several different legacy systems that they were trying to join together in order to improve their quote process, their customer engagement process, their Salesforce automation processes. And they simply had siloed information, which led to very, very inefficient sales a bunch of different sales processes. So when they implemented Creatio, they got two major benefits out of it. One is that it's a single CRM solution. So marketing, sales, and service with Creatio are all one platform. That doesn't mean you have to buy all of them at once. What it means simply is that it's a single database. There is a single point of truth. And again, if you only use sales and service, simple as flipping a switch to turn on the functional areas. I don't even call them modules because modules implies that they're separate. They're really functional areas of the same system. So they can be turned on or off as well at will, depending on what functionality that you guys need at the given time. So that's number one way that they improved their efficiencies. The number two was what I talked about, that low code platform. So everything you're going to see when Chris starts really digging into the system and showing was built upon a low code platform. So all of the Leadform CRM products that we have can be configured using the low code platform, can be expanded using the low code platform, and all those workflows that you see within the system can be automated using the low code platform. So the ease of configuration was one that allowed them to tailor Creatio specifically to their needs without needing to put all of these different changes, change requests into a already very, very overworked IT pipeline. And then they also had extensive out-of-the-box functionality. So we've built these CRM products on top of our low-code platform, and they're very, very robust in what they can do out of the box, as well as being extended through low-code methodology. So they leverage us for sales, marketing, service, as well as heavily using the intelligent business process management platform to extend the functionality beyond the typical CRM capabilities. Another, what I would say, is a flagship Creatio customer is Ent Credit Union. So they are one of the largest credit unions in Colorado. They have over 5.4 billion US in assets under management and over 330,000 members. So they had, again, a very legacy-based, outdated CRM system, which was really more of just a core banking platform. While they do both retail and commercial lending, they needed to improve their member experience and increase their lead generation for cross and upsell. So they had members that they weren't really just getting the most out of each customer they had from a profit perspective, from a lead generation and cross-up sales. So they selected Creatio over Salesforce, which, as you guys I'm sure are familiar with, is in our marketplace from a CRM standpoint purely the leader in the category. But what Creatio does better is that marriage of CRM and business process management. So because of the out-of-the-box functionality we have, because of the low-code approach to implementation and customization, we were able to deploy an enterprise-wide platform in just 3.5 months. Centralized their member database and automated through the low-code approach some really key sales activities such as opportunity management, and as well as those cross-up and sales recommendations, as well as their lead management process. So we're very, very happy. And again, with Creatio, we're expanding all the time. We're working right now on installing Creatio into their branches and their retail operations to automate things like loan approvals, order account openings, onboarding, things like that. About Creatio as a company, we have 5 offices around the globe. So our headquarters is in Boston, Massachusetts. I'm here. I'm not in the headquarters, obviously, but it's a beautiful day here in Boston. We also have offices in Kiev, Ukraine, Moscow, Russia, London, England, and Melbourne, Australia. We have 650 employees, growing all the time. So I'm not sure the exact count, but it was around 650 at the time of the creation of this deck. One of the things we want to note that I think is pretty important when we talk about that headcount is that half of those employees are dedicated strictly to product development. So whether that's R&D, whether that's quality assurance internally, whether that's development of the code set itself, we are a very product-centric company, which allows us to compete with companies that have, 5, 10, 15 times our employee count, Salesforce, Oracle, Microsoft, because those companies are really heavily skewed from a balance sheet standpoint towards sales and marketing. They're really sales and marketing engines, and they put product kind of last on the list, where we put the product first. We're more focused on building a world-class product than we are about simply increasing our brand name awareness in the marketplace. We have thousands of customers across the globe. Like I said, we are a global organization, and we have a very, very strong partner program of integrators, guys like Martin and Associates, who are one of our very, very favorite and trusted partners from an implementation standpoint. They help us with marketing, they help us with sales. We've built this very strong ecosystem, which allows us to focus on what we do best, which is developing the product. And they are, utilizing, leveraging Creatio resources to help them do the implementations, do the consultations, and help build out the system once it is installed. So you guys are probably familiar with Gartner, Forrester, really the two kind of main industry analysts out there from, at least from a CRM perspective. So we were included in 5 Gartner Magic Quadrants and 6 Forrester Waves, something that we're very, very proud of. A little bit about us, you can meet our team. So Creatio is actually a new name for us. We, in the late, I think it was late October, we rebranded from BPM Online to Creatio. We felt that it was a better fit from a corporate principle standpoint. Again, letting our customers be the creators of their system, letting them build processes, empowering them to take part in the development and design of the system, and be creators. You know, any power user of Creatio can create a process for their department, for their employees, for their colleagues. So we felt that really more embodied what we really stood for as a company, is allowing our customers to be creators. We launched the name by jumping out of an airplane, skydiving. I didn't do that, and I never will. If we ever try to brand ourselves, I'm going to stay firmly on the ground. I enjoy it here. As you can see over here, again, we have one of our Accelerate events, large conference where we bring in partners, customers, thought leaders, and speakers from all over the world. Supposed to be in May. Obviously, we weren't able to have our event here in May. It has been rescheduled to October. So hopefully, you know, if some of you decide to become Creatio customers, we'll see some of you guys there. Fingers crossed for that. Just a sampling of our customers. Again, very, very diverse customer base, geographically, industry vertically. Big names: Heinz, OK, Bayer, there's End Credit Union, Hershey's Ice Cream, Citco. I would say our largest customer segment is financial services. Our second largest is going to be in manufacturing and distribution. And then we also have a pretty strong presence in a bunch of different other industry verticals. So the system itself, with that low code, no code, is very, very flexible, and companies can tailor it to exactly what they need. So we're pretty agnostic as far as what industry we're able to help accelerate their digital transformation efforts. Talk a little bit about analyst recognition, leader, Salesforce automation, leader, CRM management, lead management. And then we're also there for engagement center, low code application platforms, and intelligent business process management suites. Forrester, same story, CRM suites, Salesforce automation, B2B marketing, customer service solutions, cloud-based dynamic case management, and digital process automation for wide deployments. Probably the most important slide we have, although it's one of the simplest. Sales, marketing, service, all one platform, one database. Behind all of that is Studio, the low-code business process management engine that's driving workflows, that's driving processes, that's allowing you guys to create and configure those top 3 exactly as you need. And Studio can be used so outside of CRM to automate internal IT, HR, procurement. I mean, really anything that's a manual process today could be, with well-empowered users, automated with the Studio platform. talk a little bit about acceleration. I'm just going to check time here. I'm running a little low on time. We are able to accelerate companies' digital process transformation or digital transformation. 4 key pillars here: accelerating change with our agile low-code platform, single point of truth, aligning sales, marketing, and service, accelerate implementation using a robust out-of-the-box process. Again, End Credit Union did it in just 3.5 months, which is very, very quick for a enterprise-wide deployment, and accelerating adoption with a user-friendly user experience. Products, as I mentioned, marketing platform that automates campaigns, email marketing, event management, marketing resource management. You can see here an example of a campaign, and Chris will dig into some of these a little bit further when I finally stop talking. It's an example of a contact record. Sales, lead management, community management, contracts, invoices, forecasting. There's field sales, channel sales, and then all of these have full collaboration tools, KPIs, dashboards, where you can drill into the data behind where you're getting those dashboards. So here's an example of a opportunity. As you can see at the top, kind of the process you guys define, that's going to give suggestions and drive your salespeople to make the next best action. And an example of a dashboard. Again, these can all be configured very, very simply with a couple of clicks by your team. There's no need to engage a vendor, consultant, or an internal IT resource. And then customer service. Queue management, dynamic case management. Your service level agreement is stored within the system. There's a knowledge base, as well as self-service portal to provide to your customers. And then all your internal IT processes can also be configured, and the case management therein can be executed with our service platform. All of that is built on Studio. So that's our business process management, dynamic case management, system designer, and then all your user permissions and AI and machine learning models can be configured within the Studio platform. So again, it's building and configuring all of the CRM products, but also can be used by itself as a standalone product to extend well beyond what the CRM products are capable of. So here's the example of a recruitment process. Nothing to do with CRM, but that can be automated completely within the Studio. So again, as you guys start looking at it a little bit more, as Chris gets into a bit more, we create a world where really any business idea through our Studio platform, through our low-code, no-code automated platform, can be automated in minutes. I believe that is me. So thank you guys for your time. Chris, I will now turn the floor over to you.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you very much. That was informative and interesting as usual.
Thank you.
Yeah, no, we appreciate it very much. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. And I'm right. We'll go on the screen there. Awesome. So yeah, wonderful. Thanks again, Scott. So
sure.
We'll get right into, I guess, the Martin and Associates part real quick. We'll do a quick, kind of just overview of who is Martin and Associates, and then we'll get into hopefully the fun stuff of seeing some examples of how clients have used the system. We are a certified Creatio partner since about 2017. Before that, we've been doing other CRM and ERP products, but I followed, at the time it was BPM Online, for quite a while. Saw them on the CRM watch list many times, and we felt for our customer base we needed a really good solid CRM and automation solution that would really benefit our client base and fit right into what we do well. So we have business analysts / consultants like myself, And we also have developers. You definitely don't want me, writing hardcore .NET code. But, I have learned quite a bit about the platform. And part of the reason that, I enjoyed is you do get to create all kinds of things. We use it internally for various different things. I've been able to automate some things through processes, customize the system, and, I can do all that without having to, get in and write some JavaScript or something. So we are what we would call a full service VAR, value added reseller. And we enjoy our partnership with Creatio. And as Scott mentioned earlier, we do work with them still. If there's some really hardcore development needs, that the Creatio people know really well, we work with them and we get that done for our clients. Or we have our developers, that know how to tweak the system and do things the Creatio way. We get in and do that. So we sell it, we implement it, we train you on it. And, we support you ongoing. We're not there to just implement it and leave. We like keeping our customers for life, and being able to help them for many, many years. We do focus, as I said, on ERP and CRM solutions. Our CRM of choice is Creatio, and we do a couple different ERP solutions like from Sage, Microsoft Dynamics, and Acumatica. And as a quick marketing piece, we are and do have an integration that we've built between Creatio and Sage 100, and we have some clients working on that, which is pretty fun. We're proud of that one. It's pretty neat. And we've been in business for over 30 years. We have, staff that have been with us for several that have been over 20 years. So a lot of good continuity, a lot of good business knowledge. That's a little bit about us. Sorry about that. Had to get that in. All right. So here's something we did for a customer early on. So as Scott mentioned, there's basically your three, kind of pieces: sales, service, marketing, and they're all built on top of that studio. And the studio underlying everything is really awesome and powerful. So we had a customer that wanted to, it sounds, pretty simple. You have a contact page on a website and you want to have that go into their CRM solution. Prior to Creatio, they did not have that. So, before Creatio, customer would fill out a contact form. Somebody might get an email about it, kind of to a generic inbox. And then, you'd hope that somebody would start following up on it. There was no record or visibility if that follow-up actually happened. So once they got Creatio, we were able to, kind of tweak this and set it up for them using a combination of the marketing and sales piece. And again, building everything underneath the studio. So in Creatio marketing, there's a way to create a landing page. You tie that into your website, with just a little bit of copying and pasting some JavaScript code on your web form page. Once that web page is filled out and submitted, that goes automatically into Creatio. In our case, it comes in as a lead, but it has certain values behind that, and I'll show you that shortly. So once that lead is in, we run a process because certain values are hit. We have a process that gets triggered. So as a result, when a contact fills out their form, that data goes, as I said, right into Creatio. Processes are triggered. Opportunities, accounts, contacts, as well as leads, are all created, automatically in the system with, the same data, the same information, and an email goes out to the prospect, to the person that filled out the web form, as well as an email goes out to a few people internally, so they are also notified that there's a new lead in the system. So some benefits, there's there's no data entry except for the person filling out the contact form. You're not relying on your salespeople to, receive an email from a website and, oh, go log this into a CRM system or put it into their Outlook as a task or anything like that. That all happens automatically. And then, another side benefit is you have some data conformity. It's all the same information between the lead, the opportunity, the contact, that's all there. And that helps for analytics type purposes, reporting purposes, some automation purposes as well. So just a couple quick screenshots. This one I unfortunately cannot show live. So on your left here, you see a picture of the web form, just, capturing some main information. On the right, with the landing setup, attachments and notes, default values. These default values are a feature in Creatio that let you set some values on the lead that will get created, so the customer filling out the form doesn't have to select all these things. They're getting automated in the system. And this, drives, again, some data manipulation or automation, as well as some analytics so that, you're getting all this good information. Where's the lead coming from? What type of lead is it? What was the landing page they hit? So all these different things, can either drive processes, drive marketing campaigns, all kinds of things in the system. There's a lot of power and flexibility there. So don't be alarmed by the process. What we did is their Creatio, when you get the product, there's a lot of really robust processes built into the system. And so we were able to copy these and tweak them as we needed, add additional start criteria, add additional filters, send in the emails, filling out some other fields and forms. The main thing to take away from this is one potential thing when you're coming in is, all right, I have a lead. What do I want to have happen? All right, it's going to run through this whole thing automatically and enter any information that you need, do, field checks, status checks, link things appropriately. So at the end of the day, you've got, a lead, a contact, an account, all related to each other, all with the information that you want to have entered into the system, as well as you can see on the top right, we're sending an email to the lead, we're sending an internal email, and we're setting the status of the lead to a certain, qualified status, which in turn triggers another process to create the opportunity. So as a result, just to show you what the lead looks like, we've got our test lead, correct information. We have our fields that are filled out automatically by the lead form here in the middle screenshot here, with type, guest app, discovered, topics of interest, as well as further on the right, we have some lead engagement things to keep track of. All right, when this lead gets converted or the opportunities won, we have all these data sources filled in to know, okay, it came from this landing page. It was a referral source, or it was from, a marketing campaign we're doing, or it was from a blog entry that we posted. So all these things can get filled in so that you know where your leads come from, which contact form they're filling out, which ones are successful. And tracking that information can be pretty useful to know, where to spend your marketing time and efforts. And the client certainly does that. So as I said, once that lead comes in, a stage gets filled out, and then, to split the processes up, it comes in, and now we convert that to an opportunity. Again, we piggybacked off some Creatio processes and tweaked them as needed, remove things, add things, filters, all kinds of fun stuff. So now at the end of the day, we not only have a lead, contact, account, but also an opportunity in the system. And, our customer uses that and they track that, and they've been very, very happy with that solution so far. All right. So now another example, customer portal. So, we're, beginning to use that internally as well. And then we have some customers that are interested in this concept as well. So this is making use of the customer portal. Some CRM systems, you have to do a whole lot of work and effort to get a customer portal going up. I'm not going to name names, but they're out there. And here for Creatio, when you have the self-service, or sorry, the customer service piece, you can get a customer portal very easily. Just licensing some portal users. It's nothing else to install. No other tweaking or crazy certificates and all kinds of stuff to get set up. So what we're doing, and our customers are doing, is creating this self-service portal, which kind of feeds two things, right? So one, the customer can be a little more proactive, and see and create their own cases, see knowledge-based articles, whether that's like more like a manual type, follow these steps to complete these things if you have a certain issue, or it could be quick 2, 3, 4-minute videos that walk them through how to create a new user in Creatio, or specify some security to certain settings, or customize the contact entity to add fields or something like that. So enabling your customers to kind of have that self-service role is good for both sides, generally speaking. So again, for our solution, we use the built-in portal capability, and we just add portal users as we need to for our customers, and then we tweak the portal pages as needed. And I'll probably get in here and show you some of that. I believe so, yeah. So just a screenshot, but that's mainly just so you get it in the slide deck. So let's jump in here to my portal. All right. Hopefully you guys see my customer portal here. Maybe I'll get a nod from Scott, or I can look down at my phone. Awesome. All right, so I'm logged in as a portal user. Same URL that I would use as a normal user, but it knows, or Creatio knows, that I am a special user of a type of a portal user. So I see certain things on this main page, which is customizable. This is kind of mainly out of the box. Haven't tweaked it too much here. But here I have a list of popular knowledge-based articles. I can click on those and see all the information here within, whether that's a tweak, some good information, or any files and attachments that are related to that. So you can upload videos, PowerPoints, PDF files, whatever, and your customers can see that. So if I close that one and jump into my cases, here right from the portal as a customer, I can make a new support case, and I can see my existing cases that are going on. So if I look at number 86 here, you can see, again, as the customer, I'm seeing a status of the case. I can't really, change things as the customer, but you can see what status it's in. And I can also type in any notes, hey, thanks, I will take a look today and get back with you. And I will publish. Okay, so now, I just, as a customer, updated that. You might have seen I got a notification that get some new emails and things like that. Those are my Creatio notifications turned on. So easily, as a customer, you can kind of see this back and forth of things that are going on, and get good visibility as to everything that's happening in the system. So if I jump back to my the user side, I have some I have some notifications that, things have happened in the system, new emails, case information. So I can see that in the system. If I open up, my number 86 case, you'll see right here, oh, here's the note that they just posted. Thanks, I'll get back to you. Okay. And so now, it went back to a certain status. We're good to go. I'll say, oh, I'll take that one. Okay. So, lots of good, quick interaction between me, the support representatives, as well as the customer. So just, another quick example, jump on here. Oh, all right, let's, here's a new case. I'm going to assign it to me. I'll say it's in progress. And let's go ahead and post a message here. And we'll say, hey, you know what? Do a call to confirm your process on Thursday. All right. So, update the case. If I go back to my portal and pick the correct case, I see that notification live as the customer. And, I'm also getting some emails and things like that. So excellent. So hopefully, a good quick example of using, features that are already built into Creatio and just, setting up users real quick, making it easy for your customers to interact with you on a self-service type basis. And again, there's a lot of process work that you can do in here to, tweak how things come in. Besides, a customer logging out of the portal, they could send an email to one or more email addresses and the case would get created automatically. And then maybe a group of users gets notified based on the type of the case or something so that they can come in there and take a peek. And there's also, several dashboards and views of cases that you can do. All the cases, maybe cases that are just assigned to me as the MWALL user, maybe cases that are unassigned. In this case, I have none of them. They've all been assigned to people. So lots of different capabilities and power here just to see things in the system. Alrighty. So let me jump back to the presentation. And again, if you have any questions, post them in the chat window and we'll definitely cover those. Alrighty, so with every one of our customers, part of what we do, when we're working with them, in two phases, really. One, setting up the system as well as training them. We like our customers to have as much ownership as possible and as they feel comfortable with. So part of that is, showing them a lot of the features and capabilities that can be accomplished, using filters and views and dashboards and things like that in the system. And again, based on the customer, they might love it and have people that just eat it up and jump right in. Or, they might ask us to help them out, because we, just kind of have a lot of experience doing those things. Both ways are great. So part of the feature is, when you're filtering through records, you might have, 1,500 or 5,000, different leads in the system. And how do you define who sees what? That's a lot to scroll through. Definitely a lot. Or maybe, a salesperson just wants to see, leads or opportunities that are in Texas or something like that, because that's what they deal with. They don't care about everything else. Maybe they want certain columns of information to be shown versus another user because they care about something else more than them. Or maybe you got different types of users. So all those things are possible in the system, using folders and filters. So using that, they have of the CRM systems I've seen and played with and worked with, they probably have the most powerful or darn near the, top most powerful filtering capabilities in here. So you can do some really, complex SQL filters. For example, if you want to see, customers that you're going to term as lost customers that have an order last year, but do not have an order this year, you can see on the right screenshot here, all right, here's how I define that. I'm looking at accounts, of a specific type of customer probably, and you're filtering by if they have an order, right? That's order related to an account, whether that exists. And the date on that order is in the previous year, and it's got a certain status, in this case completed. And so not only customers that have an order from last year, but also that have an order from last year, and this year they don't have an order, so it does not exist, which is a pretty powerful thing. There's some large, well-known CRM systems that can't really do this out of the box. So having this built in is a pretty powerful feature, and we use it probably for all of our customers in some shape or form. And so just to jump in here real quick, if I'm looking at, again, my accounts, so here's an example, right? Here's another one, customers without leads. If I jump in and set up my filter, I can say, okay, I want a listing of my customers that where the lead count is 0 and the customer type or the type of the account is equal to customer. So these are all kinds of, my customers that don't have a lead, that did not come from a lead really. Maybe you want to do, again, the lost customers one. That one's pretty powerful. Or, just partners or just competitors. So these are all based on, the type. So if I look at an account, you can see type partner. These lookups in the system are customizable, for whatever values that you need. And you don't have to go to a back end to change all those lookup values. You don't have to, have a developer do it or anything like that. It's as simple as jumping into the correct lookup and adding or changing values or deleting values if you care to. So again, that's kind of the power of, Creatio, is to make it, like Scott mentioned, the low code, no code, where you don't have to be a developer to get in and do all these things. I'm certainly no developer, but I can definitely, manipulate forms and enter data and all kinds of things like that. So that's kind of the power. If we wanted to make, a new folder here, so I just hit new folder, we'll give it a name, and let's say we'll go, orders greater than 20,000 or something like that. Hopefully this works. All right, so now we get to add our filters here. So we're going to take accounts, and I'm drilling into related records, which is quite a powerful concept. So I'm going to go order by the column account, and I'm going to say, in this case, exists. I'll just say, I'm going to change this to where they have an order. And if I'm drilling down, now I'm looking at my order, if you notice, not just my account, but because I clicked right here on this plus sign, because this knows it's the order in section. I'm going to say where the total is greater than or equal, and we'll put in the value 20,000. And we'll hit apply here. Oh, thank goodness we have some. Just so you know, I did not try that beforehand. So I will save that. And I will probably move him just to under, we'll go all customers. Again, you can kind of hierarchize your folders if you need to. You can star them, put them up here as your favorites. So anytime, you know, a customer comes along and makes a new order over this amount, they're going to show up in this list. This is a dynamic folder here. And again, if I jump down to Alpha Business and I go over to their history, yeah, that's right. And let's jump into orders. You know, you can see that they do in fact have an order. If my screen stops jumping around, they do have an order over $20,000. So that did quite work. And again, you could put further filters, you know, within a certain date, this year, last year, different statuses, all that fun stuff. But the data is delightfully accurate. So that was awesome. All right, so back to the presentation briefly. All right, dashboards. Again, another time, I'd probably say for every customer we have, you know, we're doing some sort of dashboard. Some are more complicated than others, and that's perfectly all right. Creatio has ways to handle that. But the main, you know, concept when you're dealing with dashboards is presenting information that's in the system. So there's different ways to do that. We've used pre-built dashboard templates from the marketplace, and there are several out there that you can download, and just a few clicks you can install them, and then you can copy them, change them, tweak them as necessary. You can assign permissions to your dashboards, so only certain users or certain roles can see certain dashboards. There's probably some that might be system-wide that you might not want to see, or maybe a sales person versus a sales manager. And again, you can add and remove all kinds of dashboard widgets, whether those are metrics, charts, data views, you know, external web page information. So just as an example, again, mainly so you guys can see it on the presentation, is a big opportunity management dashboard. So if I jump back into my friend, and just so you know, in Creatio, there's kind of, I call it 2 levels of dashboards. You have, you know, system-wide dashboards, such as the sales pulse that, you know, Scott kind of showed earlier. And these, you know, this comes with the system. It's, again, tweakable. You know, you can edit it, copy it, set up your permissions, who can see it and everything. And we'll jump into that. But these, you know, the system-wide dashboard can basically report on any entity in the system, and you can have multiple, you know, you can have a dashboard that shows information about leads, opportunities, orders, invoices, all that kind of fun stuff. So in this case, you know, the sales pulse is showing leads and opportunities and pipelines and things to close for your opportunities. Or I should say, and you can have section level dashboards. So in this case, I'm looking at opportunities, and all I have to do, instead of getting a grid view, which is the default, the list view, I can go to a dashboard view, and I have my opportunity management dashboard. But what you'll notice here is the data will change and update based on what filters I have applied up here on the dashboard level. So I could change it by owner, or just MWALL is the owner. And you can see my numbers change from 104 to 41. I can get rid of that filter and it goes back. Or, you know, I can further say, okay, let's look at ones that are, you know, direct. And again, using the power of the filters and folders here, I'm able to quickly and easily, you know, have the dashboard reflect that, you know, relevant information, whether it's, you know, opportunities that are in progress. I've got 86 of them for that amount. These guys need to close. And if I want to see that information again, I can easily, let's say my opportunities by lead source closing this quarter. All I have to do here is say, oh, display data. Now I have a view of the records that make up that information. Again, I can jump right into that lead or opportunity or whatever relevant record we're looking at. In this case, it's opportunities. And now I can see that, just easily jump to that record and see all the information about that. So I know who it is, I know who's owning it, I know their stage up here in the handoff to sales, and then any other, the timeline, see everything that's gone on for this opportunity, anything that's related, what lead they came from, all kinds of fun stuff. So again, that's just jumping from a dashboard down into your records. And again, lots of different things. If I go to edit this dashboard, you can see that I can tweak any of these things and, kind of edit them. Total number of opportunities, all right? Again, you have the full power of the filters in here to denote what's going on and show the information that's relevant to you. Alrighty, back to the presentation. Appreciate you guys hanging with us so far. Alrighty, quickly, no, it's 1 o'clock. Just a kind of an, something just to show that, hey, Creatio is not just sales and service and marketing. There's all kinds of things you can do with the system, use it internally or externally. But let's say you want to allow your employees to submit a training request for approval. All right, there's a template out there, a process template out there from Creatio in the marketplace for that. All you have to do, again, a couple clicks, install it, and away you go. So let's look at that very quickly. And I'm going to log out here. I'll log in as a new user. All right, so this is an internal user, not a portal user, an employee of our company. And let's go to requests and see, the requests I've got out there. You can see I've submitted 2 so far. I'll jump into request number 2. And I can see activities that have been done for that. I can see what stage it is in again. There are approvals built into the system. And I can see, as the user that submitted this request, who's approved it so far. If there's any other, attachments or information that I needed, I can see all that. So I would just, as a user, come in here, fill out the form, and submit it for approval, send for approval as an action. And that's how I got to this far. As the kind of the user that, the next thing that would need to happen as my MWL user, I can see the same requests, jump right in, see all the same info, but I'm an approver record and it's telling me, hey, you need to come in here and do something. So I'm going to select me, and here I can approve it, reject it, assign it to somebody else. Just for demo purposes, I'll go ahead and approve it. Awesome. And now you see that I have a new task made for me automatically in the system, and it changed status. And so I need to do a couple things. Confirm the training program. I'll just say, yep, I did that. Alrighty. So just as an example, to show you what the system can do is, assign tasks, create them for you, change statuses. All this is done in the process. So, the fun part's just define the process to make sure it's accurate. But there's a lot of fun things that can go on in here. And again, as the user that submitted this request, if I just kind of do a refresh, I see that same information. activities that are going on. You know, MWL needs to confirm my training schedule, but at least it's in progress. And, you know, these people have approved it and anything going on. All right, so that's just kind of another example to show you what's actually, you know, possible. It doesn't have to just be sales and marketing. So, all righty. Lastly, we're gonna poke the monkey a little bit and create a process in the system. So let's say when you complete an activity, you want to be able to automatically prompt the user to create a new activity. The goal is, you know, to always have another activity out there, especially, you know, for leads, opportunities, so that you don't forget about them or things get lost. So what we're going to do is we're going to kind of tweak the activity results lookup and make a process that starts when that certain value is selected, and then prompt the user for some information and create a new activity. So at the end of the day, it'll look like this. All right, well, let's just jump in and do that real quick. All righty, so in order to do that, I'm going to use the process library that is in Creatio. And you can see I've already got one out here, but we will just deactivate it real quick. All right, so I'm going to create a new one. And again, this is the no code, low code fun. We'll give it a nice name here. We'll say LO demo signal activity, you know, prompt for next step. Okay. Alrighty. So every activity has a beginning and an end. So our green circle is our beginning. Our red circle is our termination or end. So there are different start options. One, it can start, you know, basically if it's an empty green circle, it just kind of starts manually. Somebody has to run it by, you know, on purpose. You can also start it, you know, based on a message from another process. It can run based on timers, so on a schedule, you know, every 5 minutes or every morning at 6 o'clock in the morning or something like that, or a signal. And so we're going to select signal. And now it's going to ask me over here on my right, I'll make this a little bigger, what type of signal. So I can do an object signal or anything custom. In this case, we're just doing an object signal. And so what this means is when an object in the system has something happen to it, whether it's added, modified, deleted. So we'll pick activity because we're doing this on activity records. And we're saying, all right, what's next? When do I run? When it's added, when it's modified, or deleted? So we'll just say modified. And do we want changes in any of the fields on the activity or just certain ones? So we'll just say any of the selected fields, and we'll add our columns, and we're really looking for result. So result. Further, we only want this process to run when the result is a certain value. So down in our filter here, where the record must meet these conditions, we're going to say where the result equals, and here I can pick a parameter or value, and we're going to pick a special lookup value called completed and follow up. All right. So the first thing we're going to do after we start is we have user actions and system actions. We're going to read that activity record to get the correct information. So we're going to read data, drag that over, say read activity. All right, so we're going to read the first record. You could read multiple. You can do different calculating functions to get, you know, values and things like that. We're going to again read from the activity. And again, we need to filter out which activity are we going to read. So we want to read one where the ID of this activity is equal to, in this case, we're going to select a parameter. and it is going to be the unique identifier of our activity start modification option here. And we'll go ahead and read data from all the columns just for ease, but it is recommended to change that to just selected columns that you really care about. All right, so the next thing we're going to do after we get the information from our activity is we are going to add a, I believe, an auto-generated page. So here, this is on for next step. All right, we're gonna add a quick button here. Say follow up. All right, we'll say it's green, and we'll say follow up. It's going to be our signal, and we'll add another one to be able to get out of it, and we'll make this guy red and cancel, and we'll care about that. Okay, so we're going to ask, we're going to add some page items, basically ask for information. So we need a date. So we'll say this, follow up date. And we'll make it required, and we'll say it's date and time, and we'll just leave it empty. And we'll add a text field, and we'll just say notes. And we'll say it's multi-line, and it's not required. Okay, so again, really simple. And then we're going to say, if it's good, we're going to add a big or here, basically a big if. Okay. All right. So this conditional flow here that has now been changed automatically, we'll say if this is a follow-up, we want to add data. We're going to add a new record, so add new task. And again, we're going to create an activity. We're adding one, and what values are we setting? We'll pick the account. There's a fair number of things we need to pick. Category, contact, when it's due, duration, the notes we'll add, the owner will add, the show and calendar will add, the start, and we'll add status, subject, and type. So all these things. So again, we're updating information and making sure. So we're gonna, for the account, we're gonna pick a parameter, a process parameter, meaning we're gonna take that information that's on our read activity process and select our account and fill that in automatically. And we would do the same thing, process parameter for the contact. We're reading our activity that was created or originally that triggered this, we're reading it and pulling in that same information. So we'll set the due date to the follow-up date from the prompt. We'll say our duration is just going to be 30 minutes. Our notes are going to come from another parameter where we ask for the next step. We have a notes field. You'll notice it filters things out based on your type, like your data type. So our owner will be the same as the original activity. Our show and calendar, we're going to say yes. Start will be that. Our status, we will do a lookup value and say it's not started. Our subject, we'll say, new task. New task. We'll just keep it simple. Our type, we'll do a lookup value and say it's a task. And we need a category, and we'll do a lookup and say it's a to-do. All right. And then lastly, from our option here, we're going to drag it and just a flow, and we're going to end if it's canceled. We don't care about making the actual. There you go, looks better. All right, so we will save that. It is active by default. And again, it's triggered when an activity changes in the result field and we select completed and follow up. So let's kind of jump back and we'll go to our activities list. And look, I have activities. So let's jump in. I'll say this follow-up is here. I have an activity. I just moved it on my calendar. I'm going to complete it. I'm going to say it's completed and follow up. And I will save that. And now Creatio is telling me that I have to create a follow-up activity. So let's go ahead and open that up. And now it's prompting me for my 2 fields. I'm going to say I'll follow up on, let's just say Friday at 2 o'clock. And these are my notes. I'm going to go ahead and hit follow up. And now I have a new task in my calendar at 2 o'clock with all of that same information, right? Same account, same contact, my 2 o'clock time. You know, if I pop it out, I've got the things related, owner, all the different statuses, my notes. So, yay, it worked. All right, so that is making a process. Those are, we do have things like that we've done for lots of our customers, and, you know, gotten a little crazy. There's a lot of power in there, a lot of power. Scripting, integrating with other web services, you know, loops, calling other processes, sub-processes, sending emails, all that kind of fun stuff. So there's a, you know, a lot of times if you can think it, there's a pretty good chance that we can get it done in Creatio, which is pretty neat. All righty. Hey, look at that. That's it. Creatio info, our information for Martin and Associates, website, my email, my direct number. And again, we thank everybody for joining us today. I don't really want to fix it that way. Okay, cool. Now, this is the, I guess, the Q&A part. So again, if you guys have any questions, you can type in the chat, or you can raise your hand and jump on in and you know, ask a question. Please share my email. Sure, I can do that. So email up here on the main screen, chris.isbell@martinandassociates.com.
I'm putting mine in the chat. I just realized we have the kind of basic email.
Oh yeah, the info there.
Yeah, which I don't know who checks that. It's not me.
Perfect. Yeah, Scott's is s.leddy, L-E-D-Y, at creatio.com for everybody. Awesome. Scott, do you have any comments here?
Now, if you guys think of any questions later on or want any more information, please feel free to reach out to us. And again, we thank you all for taking some time out here to join us today.
Yeah, a real lunch would definitely be more fun, but
we'll get there. We'll get back to that.
Exactly, right?
Awesome.
Exactly. Wonderful.
Well, if there's no questions, thank you guys, and I hope everyone enjoys their day and the rest of their week. Yeah,
absolutely. Have a good rest of the week. Thanks a lot, Scott. I appreciate it.
Thanks. Oh, we got one. Oh, just thank you. Yep, you're welcome, Julio. Thanks, guys.
Appreciate that.